Hi guys, I am your Ate Kayla and I'm here today to share with you the steps in cable termination for straight through and crossover cable. But before we go for that, we have a warning for you. Okay, before we go on for the steps, we need a materials for us to do that. The materials needed is crimping tool, cable snips, RJ45 connector, and Cat6 cable. Okay, the first step is prepare the cable. Prepare the cable using the cable snips. Remove approximately 1/2 inch of outer cable sheet jacketing from each cable end. The second step is cut cable wires to the approximate length. Cutting the cable wires to the proper length allows for the Cat6 cable to properly fit in the RJ45 connector. The third step is align cable wires for the specific configuration that will be terminated. The alignment of the wires will ensure they enter the proper channel within the RJ45 connector when inserting the wires. Okay, the fourth step is slide cable into the RJ45 connector. When sliding the cable into the RJ45 connector, use enough force to ensure the end of the wires are seated firmly at the end of the RJ45 connector channels. Step: insert the RJ45 connector into the crimping tool and crimp the RJ45 connector. When inserting the cable into the crimping tool, use enough force to ensure that the cable doesn't slide out of the crimping tool and the wires do not become misaligned. In addition, while crimping the connector, use enough force to push the copper conductors down onto the wires and the plastic tab onto the outer sheet of the cable. You will hear a click once all the copper tabs are seated properly. Sixth step, perform a visual inspection of the connector. The visual inspection is to ensure that the connector is properly terminated to the cable. Look for issues with wire alignment and connector looseness. And lastly, the seventh step. Repeat steps to terminate multiple connectors like the straight through and the crossover cables. The straight through and crossover cable has the same steps, but always remember that they has a difference too. In straight through cable, the wire pin match. Straight through cable use one wiring standard. Both ends use T568B wiring standards, or both ends use T568B wiring standards. In crossover cable, they use two different wiring standards. One end uses the T568A wiring standard, and the other end uses T568B wiring standard. The internal wiring of Ethernet crossover cable reverses the transmit and receive signals. It is the most often used to connect two devices of the same type via network interface controller or two switches to each other. Okay guys, that is all for the steps in cable termination for straight through and crossover cable. Thank you for watching. Keep safe and God bless.